The state of WoW going into 2024. Blizzard had to deliver the best year of World of Warcraft, and it did. Oh my god, what is this? So PC Gamer just dropped an article about how World of Warcraft has been revived, been saved, been redeemed, thanks to Dragonflight. I wanted to look at this article real quick and talk a little bit about some of the interesting points they've made, some of the stuff I've talked about before, and why World of Warcraft is in fact back. Back better than ever. Let's see what they have to say here. World of Warcraft soars triumphantly into the 20th anniversary year in 2024. But just 2 years ago, that milestone was hardly guaranteed. Blizzard's modern MMO was on life support toward the end of the Shadowlands expansion. Players had dropped away in droves as complicated power systems, endless grinds for fun, rewards, content droughts, and unevenly interesting zones caused them to look elsewhere for entertainment. Yeah, I agree a lot with that paragraph. Honestly, Shadowlands, it was like a mix of a lot of things. If it weren't for COVID, and people being stuck in their basements or homes, or, wherever you live, if you don't have a basement, it was a rough one, man. I think COVID kind of saved Shadowlands. Honestly, people say that Shadowlands was bad because of COVID. I disagree. I think Shadowlands only had players because of COVID, because people were stuck at home and had nothing else to do. Here's the thing. Shadowlands was bad for many reasons. Like they said, the infinite grinds were complete shit. The storyline was complete shit. Oh, the storyline was blasphemy. What they did to Arthas and everything else, it was horrible. I say Classic did more. Oh, the article gets into Classic. Don't you worry. World of Warcraft Classics players helped to keep the lights on. Census data suggests that at least at one point, players of the 18-year-old WoW outnumbered the modern version. And that was what Classic was good for. I totally agree. I'm not a Classic Andy, but I appreciate Classic, because it really did keep the lights on. Again, those people pay subs just like the people who played retail. And thankfully, when retail got bad, when it hit an all-time low, Classic was there. The good old Classic was there to catch them as they fell. So, WoW did, in fact, lose players to other games, of course. But Classic kept enough people around that the game was still, it was still alive, if not on life support at the time, thanks to the damage that Shadowlands had done with Torghast. Aesthetically, again, Shadowlands 2, it had some nice zones, had some nice aesthetics here and there, but for the most part, it just felt like a very dungeony, dark, spiky dildo expansion that I really didn't care for. The Dragonflight expansion that launched just over a year ago was a Hail Mary pass, a long shot down the field that would either save the game or bury it. Packed with new stuff to do and new systems, it was an attempt to correct virtually everything that players said they hated about Shadowlands. Fortunately for Blizzard, Dragonflight crushed it. I agree. And one of the biggest things about Dragonflight was, in fact, just listening to the players. I feel like Blizzard kind of had a come to thrall moment, a come to Green Jesus moment, where they realized that player feedback is important. That maybe the players are right about some of the things they're saying. Maybe they don't know everything. Maybe they don't have all the answers. And maybe listening to the player base, who also happens to love the game and wants to see the game do well, was the right move. And I think it was. Dragonflight really was a player-led expansion. It gave us a lot of things that we've been asking for quite a while. Wait a second, Sam is reading the article, but he can't read chat? What magic is... Yeah, well, fuck you, I just read your message, so how about that? Shadowlands had good raids, good end zones, and my favorite thing in WoW, OP mission table. Well, everyone has an opinion. It's just not all right, but that's okay. Hey, you could like Shadowlands. I don't hate anybody who liked Shadowlands. I just think it did, for everything it did right, it did a lot of things wrong. Shadowlands felt very grindy. The raids were extremely difficult, hard to do, and that's not saying, the get good attitude, hey man, just get good. That's fine. I still got AOTC in every raid on this stream. But it wasn't fun to do. A lot of the fight mechanics felt extremely punishing in a nasty way. The mechanics weren't great to do. The game wasn't fun to play. Torghast was a bitch. The endless grind of having to buy WoW tokens to get my legendary as again and again and again. Oh, it's just, oh man, that Shadowlands felt like an expansion that was meant just to keep you in the game, and that was about it. It wasn't meant to be fun, it wasn't meant to be exciting. It was just meant to keep you in the game, keep you on the endless grind. And again, I won't talk about what they did to the, you know, Arthas, Menethil, lore and everything else. The lore was tough to deal with, was tough to swallow. What the hell is this? I don't get into this kind of shit. Why is this ad here? Anyways, 2023, an incredible year of WoW. We're several patches in Dragonflight. We are several patches into Dragonflight now. And I'll say it. This is the best expansion the game has ever had. Oh, wow. And the latest patch is one of the best the game has ever seen. I don't know if this is the best expansion the game's ever had. I still think Wrath of the Lich King, it might have been just because the game was in its prime at that time. Wrath of the Lich King, still my favorite expansion. I love it. Mists of Pandaria, even highly underrated expansion. I actually love that expansion too. But in terms of patches, Legion also, great expansion. But in terms of patches, I agree with that second part. And I said it yesterday. Patch 10.2 is one of my favorite patches I've ever played. I'm having so much fun playing it. Everything is really good about it. I feel like they finally got all the little, you know, there were some mistakes at Dragonflight launch, you know, with Mythic Plus and everything. I feel like they finally got it all together. It's a great freaking patch. It really is. And I've been enjoying the game again, like I haven't in quite a while. So that's good. You little bitch. I saw the announcement farming you for YouTube content. The man isn't even hiding this at this point. Nathria ruled. Yet Nathria was a great raid. It was a shining bright star in what was, you know, followed up by Sanctum of Domination and Sepulchre of the First Ones, which were, you know, Sanctum of Domination probably goes down as my least favorite raid of all time. And Sepulchre of the First Ones aesthetically was nice. It was a good change-up, but man, that was the most punishing and difficult raid I've ever done. Anduin might go down as the hardest boss ever. I didn't like Shadowlands. I didn't like anything about Shadowlands first time I canceled my sub. There you go. Any word on when they are making a Samiccus free for G Fuel? I don't know. I knew it. Sam is a furry, confirmed. Look at that targeted ad. No, I don't know where. This is not a targeted. I don't know what the hell this is. Okay, I'm not a furry. I just don't know what this is. Nothing against furries, I guess, but I don't know where that came from. Anyways, Dragonflight didn't launch with any truly new types of encounters. Instead, it revamped almost everything from the existing game, from transportation to talents, and added a new race and class, the Drakthir Evoker. In a way, it strongly resembled Legion, previously WoW's best expansion. This is a good point. It is. Because Dragonflight, while it wasn't an aesthetic revamp to the game, right? Like we're kind of expecting maybe with the War Within and the entire World Soul Saga, we're going to get some really good revamps in those expansions. Especially Warcraft Midnight. It looks like they're going to revamp the entirety of the northern section of the Eastern Kingdoms. Silver Moon and everything. We're getting a Gilneas revamp in the next patch here next week. But Dragonflight what really was a systems revamp. Right? The new talent system, fantastic. Love it. It's probably the best talent system we've had in WoW ever. The new crafting system. Hate crafting. Don't like participating in it, but the crafting itself is the best it's ever been. I can say that. The crafting system is a big upgrade from what it previously was. Most definitely. Transportation, obviously dragon riding is fantastic, and I can't wait to get it in the rest of the game, that's for sure. And what else did they say? Adding new races like the Drakthir. Yeah, the Drakthir are fine. They're fine. They're not the, you know, they're not my favorite, you know, addition to the game ever, but they're good. They're good. They get the job done. They fit the aesthetic of Dragonflight, and of course they become a Moonguard favorite for many reasons. The high-speed, kinetic fun of dragon riding was such an instant hit with developers that the developers promised to expand upon it into other continents, and in January, we'll be getting a lot. Yeah, we'll be getting it all over Azeroth, that's right. The Dragonflight pool and new dungeon was varied and interesting. The raids were consistent, they came out in comfortable intervals, and improved over the course of the year. Even the open world activities were surprisingly engaging, and each new patch brought a new type of open world content and storylines. I can't agree more. Yeah, I can't agree more. Sam knows all about Moonguard. No, it wasn't. Yeah, new game. That's right. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is great. This is great stuff. Look, here's the thing. Dragonflight, in terms of the dungeon pools, especially this last patch, raids, this last raid, and everything else. 10.2.5 in general. 10.2 is freaking fantastic. The raids are great. The dungeons are great. Everything has been fantastic. I think they've reached the perfect balance between catering raids and Mythic Plus and everything else to, like, you know, the top end 1% players, but also catering to the majority of the world, who are us degenerate players, you know, that are good at the game maybe, but you know, we're not exactly ready for that Mythic Plus. Anduin's gonna bitch slap you 436 times before you finally kill him. I think they've really found the perfect balance between things, and I'm excited to see where things continue to go here, because they seem to have really figured it out, honestly. Dragonflight was a figure-it-out expansion, and I think they've figured it out. King Julian, we're going to talk a little bit. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened. The most recent patches keep up the momentum. 10.2 brought us a Yggdrasil, Dream's Hope, the best raid Warcraft has seen since Ulduar. Oh, that's an interesting... Honestly, I like Battle for Dazar'alor. Castle Nathria was a great raid, too. But I have to say, Yggdrasil, my favorite raid in Dragonflight for sure, and that's not hating on the other raids. It's just a very good raid, well-balanced, good mechanics, fun bosses, nice aesthetic. It's a good raid. Dream's Hope is a freaking great raid, actually. I feel like Legion also had some good raids. So I wouldn't say it's the best raid since Ulduar. You know, I think we've gotten some good raids sprinkled in between. But if I had to look at the past expansions and say, maybe since Wrath and that, which expansion has given us some of the best package of raids? Dragonflight, I feel like, hasn't missed. All the raids have been good. All the raids have been fun. Right amount of difficulty, right amount of mechanics, decent storytelling. Even though I'm not a big fan of the Friends, you know, world of Friendcraft and everything that we're dealing with now, the storytelling has still been good. I can give it that, that's for sure. Releasing mid-season of Season 2 was one of the worst things that ever happened to WoW. We saw the biggest drop in players off, what, Season 2? Releasing AUG. Oh, Augmentation. Yeah, Augmentation, you know, hey, you know what I'm going to say about Augmentation? It was a shot in the dark. At least they weren't scared to try it, right? Because Augmentation certainly was a different look, right? It's completely different from anything they've done before. So I'm glad they took the risk. That's what I'm fine with, you know? At least they took the risk. Augmentation now, I feel like it's finding its spot. It's settling in and fitting into where it should be, and that should-be spot is really a place where it fits, it's got its place, right? It's a good thing to bring along, not necessarily like required, but of course you love having it. It's a great thing to have. Yeah. What's up, Leaky? Yeah, AUG is king. Needs to be removed. Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it needs to be removed. I think Augmentation has found its place in the game. I really do. And all the bitching about AUG can keep crying because they are here to stay. They are here to stay, and I actually think we'll see another class at some point that fits the same role as an Augmentation Evoker. I don't think they're going away, that's for sure. I've cleared normal, heroic, and 5 of the Mythic Dungeon encounters. The boss mechanics are difficult without overly relying on RNG, which I agree with. The difficulty ramps up fairly smoothly until the last bosses become more of a check. Yeah, and those bosses are getting nerfed soon, so even that's going to get fixed a little bit. Mythic Plus dungeons in the patch brought back the best collection of previous expansion dungeons, update, and current Mythic Plus trials, plus a reasonably well-balanced pair of dungeon splits between the beautiful new Dawn of the Infinite Mega Dungeon. I agree with all of this. He says, I've got a 3100 rating so far, so this guy clearly plays. Unlike previous patches, my group is still largely excited about the progress. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I said it many times, just casually while I'm streaming. This Mythic Plus season, probably one of my favorites ever. It's a very good Mythic Plus season. I'm enjoying it. I freaking hit my 2K rating faster than ever, and I'm still doing it. Usually when I hit 2K rating, I'm like, I'm done, man. I'm not going to really do Mythic Plus that much anymore unless I need some gear from some plus 20s or something. I'm doing it for fun still. I love it. And I'm happy to push my rating because I'm having fun doing it. I'm in Classic. Blizzard took a cue from players using mods to set up their own hardcore challenges and spun off hardcore servers. Yes, Classic and this Season of Discovery as well that he talks about here. Classic Hardcore, Season of Discovery, great additions to the World of Warcraft family, I have to say. I only done one. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, honestly. The thing about Classic Plus, or not Classic Plus, it's really Season of Discovery is kind of Classic Plus, and Hardcore, is it gave people a ton of content and fun things to do, and a fun way for the community to get together in between maybe some of the lulls in Dragonflight. Now, the lulls haven't been that long. The content cadence has been crazy fast in Dragonflight. It's been fun to play through, and they've been giving us content constantly. But if you ever get tired of it, Classic has always been there this year and in the last couple of years, the last 2 years, to pick you up with fun new things. Other than a few minus missteps, that cringe-worthy Avengers-esque cutscene with Alex Strauss on Farak at retail, yeah, we had that, yeah. It's an amazing time to play WoW, most definitely. A new era of transparency. Yes, so this part of the article gets into how Blizzard has been ambitious about posting, you know, they're looking forward, their time maps. The calendar was a big risk for the company, and I've loved that they've been doing this. Those calendars they drop, where they're showing us what's coming soon, those are such fun ways for the community to get excited and have something to look forward to. And it was a big risk for them. The whole word soon always carries a sarcastic trademark symbol. Always carries that's hilarious. It was scary for sure. Making any commitment is scary. World of Warcraft game director Ian Hazzikostas told me at the show. Some of it has been a process. The past couple of years of letting our guard down in some ways. They certainly have. They certainly have let their guard down, and part of that is their outreach to the community for feedback and the way they've responded to that feedback and admitted when they've done things wrong. Honestly, they've done a great job in kind of backtracking on things, fixing things when they needed to, and I think the team was really humbled with Shadowlands, and this new humble team has created a great freaking way to kind of, how do you say, a great way to, I don't know, communicate back and forth and make the game better through the community and through the devs themselves. Players responded typically to the expectation of the boom or bust, and as a lot of players returned. Yeah, totally agree. A humble shift behind the turnaround, and I just kind of talked about this, right? Kind of the humbling that Shadowlands brought to Dragonflight, and you know what it did for the community, and the ability for the community to kind of speak out to the developers and the developers to talk back. And just at the end of the day, I think the devs realize that our goals are the same. We just want to see a really good expansion. We want to see WoW thrive. We want to see WoW do good. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. That's what matters. Dragonflight is evidence. It's a focus on player agency, a respect of the player's time, allowing people to play the game their way and meet them where they are. Ian Hazzikostas said. It really was just us pivoting in Dragonflight, coming to the shared conclusion with our community that we are headed in a much better direction, and then hitting the gas. Yes, exactly. Figuring out the right direction to go, and then blasting content out in that direction. That's exactly what they've done, and I think that's what's brought a lot of success back to the game. Where is WoW headed in 2024? Well, we know. Yeah, we got 3 retail expansions packaged together in the World Soul Saga. We've seen the map here, and look, it looks freaking great. I'm not going to lie. Metzen came back. It feels like the lore is going to head in the right direction. It feels like the game is heading in the right direction, and it really feels like, overall, the future is extremely promising. That's the truth. Here's a quote here. We have a strong commitment to make sure our players always have something to do, he said, talking about the content leading up to the War Within. At least one thing is going to be very experimental, and that's cool. He confirmed that the experiment was related to gameplay. Oh, very interesting. This could be with the Gilneas retaking event or something going forward. We have seen some, what was it, vampire-like, God, what's that game mode called? Show up in some of the stuff before. There is going to be something new, and one thing Blizzard's been doing a really good job at is hiding patch content from us. Like, we had no idea we were going to reclaim Gilneas until they told us. And that was freaking amazing and exciting, and I kind of like that. In the world that we currently live in, where there's so much data mining and everything, it's nice to get surprised. Yeah. Yeah, Sam does fuck up a taunt or two. Of course I do. Yeah, Taints, Lord of Fuck It. That's right. That's right. And I've been living Dragonflight that way, honestly. Like, Lord of Fuck It is perfect timing with that one. Because anything I don't like to do in Dragonflight, I say, fuck it, I'm not going to do it. Anything I do like, I go balls deep into it. And that's what Dragonflight has given us, and most recently WoW, is that you don't have to do everything. You do what you like. You have fun with it, and it's a game at the end of the day. Having fun is what matters. Let's get this beauty back on track. I know, yeah, Trolls, I agree. Blizzard still envisions a future for World of Warcraft. This is the last of it here. If Blizzard executives sound a bit giddy about the franchise's success, they have a good reason to be. 2023 was a stellar year, and all signs point to a truly promising 2024. And perhaps the venerable PC MMOs, and Hearthstone/Warcraft Rumble and their accompanying mobile games aren't the end of the franchise. I totally agree. Yes, we want World of Warcraft to transcend platforms, Height said, pointing out that 240 million people have already played a Warcraft game of some kind. It's a great universe to set stories in, it's a great universe to develop characters in, and that's what our players really connect with. We want to be able to give them different games. We're even interested down the road in exploring other forms of media. Oh, this is what we've been talking, maybe a little bit of Netflix series or something, you know, obviously keep the control of the storytelling and everything in-house, right? Let Metzen head that stuff off. But a series of some sort, I would love to see. I think there's so many good stories to be told from World of Warcraft, new and old. Obviously, for me, I'd love to see a series just on Arthas Menethil, the rise and fall of Arthas Menethil, Lich King. All that's to me the series I got to see. But anything from the WoW universe, I would love it. We want to transcend a specific game genre. We want to transcend a specific demographic, whether globally or age or culturally. We really want to have a big universe. Look, guys, I think the future is bright. The Microsoft purchase of Blizzard Activision was great. Bobby is finally sailing away on his boat. He no longer needs a boat. He has it, and he's sailing off on it. And I think Microsoft is ready to let Blizzard kind of take this game in the direction it needs to go. That's for sure.